Hello there everybody, my name is Bloomer Brown and welcome back to Surviving Mars. We are into episode 4 and just taking a quick tour of our first dome, and we're getting a report that a sector has been scanned. So we are eagerly awaiting the arrival of our first colonists, and in fact, if we look down on the hotbar, and I am making an absolute mess of trying to pan around in here and make this look awesome. But if we look down at our hotkeys down here, we can see that the Dragon 1 capsule is ready to land, and it needs to land in 116 hours or the passengers will inevitably die. They will starve to death or run out of oxygen in orbit. The other problem with bringing them down at the moment is that I am not sure whether or not we are going to be able to support them, because we have a second rocket on the way out, which is laden with polymers and also a polymer factory. It is about 32% of the way here, and so it shouldn't be long before it comes. But if you remember at the end of the last episode, we were having trouble with repairing some of our power cells and also constructing the new ones. Okay, so the colony may not be in perfect condition. However, with the threat of our passengers dying in orbit, I think that we're going to have to go ahead and just make a landing and hope that there is enough life support to keep them going. So we're going to land them pretty close to the dome, and hopefully we should be able to see the very first crew landing on the surface of Mars. It's going to be very important that we keep these guys alive, actually, at least for the first 10 sols. If any of them die, I think our mission will pretty much be a failure. Cargo rocket. Okay, so we are just waiting on this. Okay, so they've given it Phoenix 1 as our cargo rocket instead of one of the dragons. Is there any sign of this rocket coming down? Oh, here it comes. We can see the flames. It's kicking up some dust and very gently making its way to the surface of the planet with a suitable logo emblazoned on the side. Don't panic. It is important that our colonists don't panic.
The first founders have set foot on the red planet.
The next 10 sols will be full of difficulties and dangers, but also with great promises and opportunities. It is now to us to prove that Mars can be a doorway to greater riches and the future of the human civilization. Even the most epic adventures begin with a single step. So effect arrival of the colonists temporarily suspended until the colony proves it is able to sustain human life. Your founder colonists must survive for at least 10 sols before additional people can arrive. And got a little hint here, the colony will be evaluated positively before the period ends in the event that the first human is born on Mars. So if we get a baby born on the planet before the 10 sols are up, we will achieve this goal. If you feel you're up to the challenge, try constructing a medical building and raising the comfort of the founders as much as possible with service buildings. We already built a medical clinic inside the dome, so we're going to close that, and we are going to watch as the very first colonists make their way down the ramp from the incredibly awesome sized rocket, and there they go, taking a bound and coming down onto the planet, and in those slightly lower gravity doing that silly kind of bounding moonwalk as they make their way into the dome, just passing through the airlock. A great day. One I would be more excited about if my rocket load of polymers had arrived. It is still in transit. It is about 50% of the way there. So we now have human life on the planet, and hopefully we'll be able to keep them going until things arrive. And look, there they have taken off their spacesuits and they are going about their various activities. A point to check out is, I wonder if this... Okay, hydroponics, crops of different harvest cycles, water consumption and food yield. Leaf crops. Okay, do we have any other crops that we can grow? We can grow some microgreens. And we may as well grow some wheatgrass as well. I'm not entirely sure what this optimal harvest. So these do produce a little bit of oxygen as well, which will help us. Growth time is in 4 sols. Growth time 4 sols. So I think every... Oh, okay, the wheatgrass should be ready soon enough. They do come with some food. As it is, they've brought some limited supplies with them, so they should, as long as we can keep the electricity up and running. Yes, it's auto-hired workers in the lab over here, and I do believe that it is auto-hired workers over here as well. So should we... Okay, not available. Okay, so we don't need a first and second shift. Stopped work shift. Should we have a second shift running in here? Working hours 2 until 10. We're going to leave that off for now, and we're just going to ignore that. So next, we need to get our polymer set up on the surface, our polymer production plant, and also get the, we may as well accelerate time for a little bit and hope that nothing goes too badly wrong. So sunset is upon us once again as our little Martian inhabitants begin settling in for the night. I'm going to just check on this rocket as well to see, waiting to refuel. It is almost fully refueled. And yeah, I think it's basically a case of waiting. What are our Explorer rovers up to at the moment? Okay, this is waiting to do something. And our RC transport is also idle, so we might as well get him down here and try to unload some of this. So this is concrete, and I think this is just a general drop-off point, and we're going to get him to unload the resource. Is he on his way back? Indeed he is not. Let's see. There we go. Unload. We're going to get him to unload there. No, we're going to get him to unload. I don't know if he's going to unload or not. I'm going to take a look at the RC Explorer and see what other anomalies we have to explore out here on the surface. There's one more up here. What is this? Okay, I've deselected him again. RC Explorer. We're going to have him take a look up here at this and see if he can get that done. It is one thing that I am not entirely sure about, is the clicking of things and selecting and getting them to do their various things. The mouse buttons seem to be... I suppose I could rebind them if I was so inclined, and it seems that we are beginning to... We have... Are these... Oh no, they're just idle. They are waiting. Let's see. Okay, the Phoenix is down. Where is our cargo rocket? Polymer factory. Okay, it has arrived at long last. And I think the best place is going to be... Actually, we should put it over here, closer to our depots, because I think that they will take their... materials first to a depot and then to the machines that need repairing. Once those batteries are constructed, I will be less concerned about power, and we can see the shadow moving at great speed because we are of course in time accelerated mode as the rocket comes down. Another reassuring banner there showing us reassuring our colonists that they do not need to panic about anything. Everything is under control. So what have we got here? Founders are the first human pioneers of the Red Frontier and the first residents of the fledgling colony. Their initial task is to prove the potential of the colony and the viability of a permanent settlement on Mars. After the founders arrive on the planet, the colony will be under evaluation for a certain number of sols. No new colonists will be available until the colony is evaluated positively. A positive evaluation will be awarded if any of the finders survive a certain number of sols or if the first child is born on the red planet. Since the founder's number is limited to the capacity of the rocket, you may wish to handpick them using the review command on the passenger rocket screen. That is a point. I should have possibly selected specialists only. I don't think that I did that when we were launching the rocket, but not to worry. A few unspecialized people will be more than welcome on the colony. Take care to micromanage their priorities during the first days on the Red Planet, using building priority and work slot management to guarantee that crucial buildings are staffed. Yes, because of course, when it does auto assign, it will. We may want to change things around in that. Okay, so this is just basically all the other game mechanics, dust and maintenance. Okay, we're going to ignore that and just fly on blindly and regardless, and hope that we can manage to get our rockets up and running. So we should have our polymer factory on the surface at this point, so I'm going to see about getting that up and running. So we need 6 workers per shift. Okay, that could be a bit of a problem for us. Okay, we've hit another milestone. I'm gonna have to start clicking through these. Okay, so founder state is 8 sols. Research, good vibrations. Can we? There we go. Okay, so we need to actually queue up some others. Low G turbines, physics research. We have also got, I think we've gotten something for physics research by researching that deposit of chrome or chromium rather than actually mining it. Let's see. Don't mind me, I'm just having a cup of coffee as I'm recording this. Probes are cheaper and can deep scan. Okay, so that's for our orbital probes. Productivity, social, engineers and journalists have plus 10 performance when working in their speciality. Systematic training. Okay, so engineering, advanced. Okay, we were working on these 2 already. Hydroscopic evaporators, moisture vapor evaporator upgrade. Hygroscopic coating, water production increased by 50%. I think we're going to pop that in as well because I am just worried about life support. Now that we do have humans, Moxie filtering, a Moxie upgrade. Oxygen production increased by 50%. Yeah, that's going to be valuable to us as well. And we have one more slot. Generate 100 science per sol for each RC Explorer vehicle. Multiple vehicles will result in collaboration losses. I think we're going to go for that because we want to generate as much science as we can. We are generating some because of the research lab, and we're getting about 326 or exactly 326 per day or per sol. I really have to turn off the mouse tracking thing. I keep mentioning that it can get quite irritating. So the problem with our polymer plant is that we need to have people working it, and I think we're lacking materials here for the gym as well. Or is that constructed? It doesn't look like it's completely finished. So we are lacking polymers. I think we may have run out of polymers once again. Have we? I hope we haven't. No, we have 16 polymers. They're just bringing. Oh yeah, they're bringing it across there. I do not know what that hazard light is on our drone. Does that mean he's? Oh, he's heading back for recharging. Ah. Oh no, I do not want to take control of you. We're just going to assign him to that. I think that's how we assign him to that. So when they're blinking with the... I was wondering about that orange hazard light on the top of it. Alright, whether or not it meant something was wrong or what they were doing. Our dumps are also starting to fill up in here, little landfill areas. I think there is a building that we can construct eventually to allow us to refine this into something. We may as well construct 2 more out here, and we'll be able to reclaim something from that, I do believe. I'm just wondering what this deposit is looking like now. Regolith rich terrain that can be processed into concrete. It can be exploited by concrete extractor. And so I think that he is... Well, there's still plenty of concrete in there, but I don't know if he's going to be able to reach it all or how deep he's going to go. I am sure that we will get a notification when we need to deconstruct that building and build a new one over there. The polymer factory. Because we are lacking polymers, or maybe we should wait until we can obtain more colonists. Let's have view information about our colonists. Vacant residential slots, disabled work slots. So, okay, jobs. Unemployed and looking for work 0. Disabled work slots 9. So I'm assuming that they have jobs and that it's just not the time for them to do their jobs at this stage. So we have 12 colonists. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and try to construct our polymer factory. Resources are low. Which resource is low? Polymers and food. Yeah, we know polymers are pretty low. We should probably have... So this is refueled and ready to take off. Is there anything that we can export at this? So forbid, no. Yeah, I don't think we are gathering any rare metals at this stage. Which probably means that we need to construct a mining area somewhere, more than likely up here in sector C something or other, I think it was, because I think that this is where we will get our, or perhaps we should have actually kept that for mining rather than using it as a research opportunity as opposed to actually exploiting it for science. So I think we're going to launch this rocket as it is. Launch sequence activated and takeoff is in progress. There's no point in keeping empty rockets that have been fully refueled sitting around on the surface of the planet, unless of course we need to evacuate our colony. Now let's take a look at the food. We should be able to produce some food at some point. We are getting pretty close. We're more than 50% of the way there. So it has 0 stored food. I am wondering where we can get a look at our food. Aurora 1. Okay, so this is where we set up the kind of age categories and stuff. That is something that we're not going to need just yet. I'm just concerned about how much food we actually have. So let's take a look at our resources. Polymers, basic resources. Okay, so we have 0 food production and 2 food consumption. We should be getting some food out of that farm pretty soon, so I am not entirely worried about that. I think I am just going to go and slap down the polymer factory somewhere over here. Hopefully it doesn't, if we can just rotate ourselves here a little bit. I think we need a cable. Do we just need a cable connection? We just need a cable connection there. We don't need any piping. So we're going to construct that there. Hopefully we have the required resources. We seem to, because it's getting built pretty quickly. And perhaps we could put this on a sort of night shift. Stopped work shift. status off. 22 until 6 in the morning. Some people... I think most of our shifts are morning shifts. Oh, we actually seem to be getting some people in here already. So perhaps we weren't using up all of our... Okay, so we're a little understaffed in here. We could do with another person in here. There's our residence. What's our research lab looking like? 2. So we are leaving ourselves short on staff. But that shouldn't be too much of a problem because we are going to be producing the all-important resource, polymer resource, that is kind of dogging us at this stage. We're going to create a little storage out here, and we're going to put a little polymer depot. We're going to line it up with the building. We'll keep it away from that cable just in case we want to extend ourselves down that way. And it is nice and close to the colony as well, so they'll be able to make the crossing in their space without too much difficulty or any chance of running out of oxygen on the way. So, we're going to have another look at our rockets, waiting to refuel. That is currently refueling. We should probably set up an area down here where we decorations, garden parks and other decorations contests. Okay, yeah, it will boost their happiness, I suppose, while they are on the surface, because of course they are living on an alien planet in very confined conditions. So it would be under domes, nursery, playground, research lab, living quarters. Well, it's probably going to be under the one that is marked with trees. So we are going to see how big is this garden. Oh, this is a very small little garden. And I think keeping it close to the hydroponics area will help in keeping our colonists happy, and perhaps they may even start having babies. A lake, I wonder how big that is. Could we put that in the grounds of the hospital just to keep them happy? Because although this may actually consume water, I'm just going to switch it off for a second and take another look at that, because I don't want it to be although we will cost no, it seems to, it doesn't seem as though it's going to waste water or consume water. That might change once it's completely constructed and we have another look. It may be a case that it is consuming our all precious water. How are we looking on water there? That is empty, and that is about 50% full, which probably indicates that we need to start getting more water out of the soil. And we may need another oxygen tank as well. Again, we are having a little bit of an auto save. Oftentimes when games start saving like that, it does. Yeah, we could probably get another oxygen tank up and running out here as well, just in case we have any kind of a failure. It may be worth putting it down closer to the dome over here, kind of trying to spread things out just a little bit rather than clustering them, just in case we have an asteroid strike or something like that. And we're going to pop that in there and start making use of the waters, or making use of the excess of oxygen that we're producing. I'm assuming that we're producing something of an excess. We also need more water, or at least we seem to be running a little bit low on water at the moment. And well, it's not that we're running low. Oh, actually we are running low. We have a water shortage at this stage. So we are going to create another moisture evaporator. Okay, so we can only construct these from... we have to have the prefabs with us. The water extractor, however, we don't need to do that. We are going to need machine parts, so we probably need a machine parts factory. We do have a water source. We actually have 2 water sources just up here, so it may be a case that we're going to have to try and start making our way out there. I wonder how far the range of control is. Okay, so we could potentially construct a tunnel, which will allow us to control our rovers as far as I know, it'll allow us to control our rovers out at that distance. Tunnel engines can connect power and life support grids at different locations and different elevations. Rovers can travel along the tunnels and reach places they otherwise couldn't. Machine parts, yeah, that's something we are starting to run a little bit low on as well. Possibly shouldn't have brought.
On an alien world, that takes guts, to say the least.
After all, purpose is the strongest long-term driver. Since arriving on Mars, Courtney Warren's enthusiasm has proven to be above average, even by founder norms. And the prodigious productivity displayed can be boiled down to one simple explanation. Courtney Warren really loves doing what Courtney Warren's doing. Hint, the founder colony. Courtney Warren has the enthusiast trait. That's the spirit. Okay. We're getting some asteroids plonking down as well and giving us some metals, I do believe. No, it's just a lump of rock that fell down. We didn't get a metal asteroid that time. Anyway, I think time is starting to run out for this episode, but in the next one I think we will start constructing a tunnel and a water extractor up to here, maybe 2 water extractors and a little drone hub up there where we can try and start. I think that the tunnel will allow us to pipe water back to the colony, so all we really have to do is construct the colony. We may need some machine parts exported, or can we produce them? Let me have a quick look at that. And electronics, rare metals extractor, materials extractor, poly, machine parts factory. Yeah, we need a prefab for that, or else we may get the research to unlock it. I think our next factory, or our next rocket launch, is going to bring a machine parts factory as well as another supply of machine parts. We may order that up now before we, or at least look at ordering that up now. Let me see, a machine parts factory. Okay, that's not too bad. And we're going to go back and we're going to order up some machine parts as well, because we are going to need them. So that leaves us with about 900, well, close to 100 million, or close to 1,000 million actually, which is $1 billion. We still have spare cargo capacity in there. Do we need anything else? We should probably bring some electronics with us as well, just in case. And we're going to launch that, and that should arrive, and we'll be able to start setting that up, because we're going to need machine parts for constructing a tunnel, possibly starting somewhere close to the colony and heading out in that direction, and we're going to connect it up with the water pipes and the power grid, and hopefully start extracting water and deal with the water shortage that we are having. In the short term, I may construct another moisture vaporizer, but I think that we will leave that until the next episode. Until then, I am going to say thank you very much for tuning in. You have been watching Bloomer Brown on YouTube, and I will see you next time.